Hello, everyone. So yes, once again I talk about Harman Smith, and I just want to say, hello, everyone. So today I'm talking about Harman Smith again. I didn't think I was gonna make a video again on this channel, but it's just I just want to show you all my interaction with Harman Smith because it's just I used to be a fan of his back between 2017 and 2019, I used to be a fan of his, but then he started getting political. But it's not just that he was political; he was just downright mean. And it's just mind blowing how he wants to talk about other people being bad, but he's bad himself. And his fans are all about whataboutism. But before I cover him, I want to talk about Paper Banjo 64's comment to me about telling me to stop defending George Floyd because he held a gun at a pregnant woman and threatened her baby. Like, I just want to say a lot of this stuff is false information. So look at this. Memes spread wrong videos detailing Floyd criminal case. So just read so just look at so anyways, but the one picture is not, okay, here's what it says. The one picture is not erasing her ends. The photo actually shows Andrea and Meckinson, who was been beaten in Madrid, Spain, 2018. So, and these are fact checks. Like, they're unbiased. And I'll show you all why they're unbiased later. Anyways, she said this: today, my photo is being used as political propaganda clickbait that George Floyd deserved to die. She asked that those who see her photo be news reported to Facebook and correct the person who shared it. So there we go. She said it herself. Here's true about the case. George Floyd pleaded guilty in 2009 to aggravated robbery with deadly weapon. He was not charged with kidnapping or assault. According to a complaint in the case filed in 2007, Floyd was one of 6 men who forced his way into the Houston home and shared with Angel Nigga and a 1-year-old child. One of the men claimed to be from the water department in order to get Hernandez to open the door. Then Floyd, who was described as the biggest of the men who pulled up in a black Ford Explorer, forced his way in and placed a pistol against the complainant's abdomen and forced her into the living room. The complaint says it doesn't say whether or not Hernandez was pregnant. Floyd then searched the house while another man guarded Hernandez. The man hit her in the head and side areas with his pistol after she screamed for help. So while George did plead guilty to a charge stemming from invasion of Hernandez's home, the picture circulating doesn't show her quiz, and the claim distorts the details of the case. So there we go. So I also want to show you this falsehood that follows George Floyd's death. So here's what it is. Here's some of the bogus claims we've debunked so far. Politically charged social media posts wrongfully identified Trevin as being in 2 photos, one showing a man wearing a red hat and blinds with furs make males white sprig, and another showing a man at a rally for President Trump. Neither picture was actually shown in Cleveland. Viral photos don't show Minneapolis officer in Floyd case. Social media posts incorrectly claim Minneapolis police, I should say, don't say police. So the presence of a police vehicle bearing in such a plate in the video proved Floyd's death was a planned event. But many police vehicles in Minneapolis have that license plate. Lengthy test post claims that Floyd's arrest and death in Minneapolis was staged to incite the racist tension, but they offer no evidence to support that conspiracy theory. Like they really do a good job. And then officer charged in Floyd's death hasn't committed suicide. And then the two former officers involved in Floyd's death are not in-laws. So like you see all this. It says bricks were placed for construction, not to incite violence. Videos of Trump pretending to choke while saying "I can't breathe" circulated with misleading suggesting that he was mocking Floyd, but the videos predated Floyd's death and show the president mocking his political rivals. So they're calling out the left too. So with that out of the way, let's just go here. I mean, you know, people have covered Harman, but look how it says here. I will not apologize for anything I create. Engage with my material in bad faith says more about yourself than about me. I'll continue creating new engaging stories until the day I die. He's talking about his books. I don't read his books. I've heard stories that they're really bad. I'm sure I'm probably a better author than him. Because my stories are more coherent. But anyways, you know, he will not apologize. And he thinks he does nothing wrong, and yet he wants to bash people like Darksidephill, claiming he's quote unquote worse, or Review Tech USA claiming he's quote unquote worse. Like, again, I don't know much about these people. Review Tech USA, I used to watch him, but then I heard he got in some controversy, and you know, it's all the same, bad people on both sides. But anyways, yeah, you know, no one should believe that he's truthful. But back when I was a fan of his, I used to watch his intent videos, and I thought they were a little aggressive, but because like I didn't like how he talked about mental health issues not being real. Like he just doesn't know about anxiety. But there were some videos where he just praised the Nintendo games, and you know, I don't mind that. Like I remember he did a top 10 video one time, and he actually made a decent video. But so he knows how to appeal to people, but he just doesn't wanna. And part of me thinks he's a troll, but it's still messed up that he trolls like that. Just like Andy Pants Gaming. You know, it's still horrible that they troll. I mean, Andy Pants Gaming acts a little more juvenile than Harman Smith, but like, it's just Harman Smith also said the F word about gay people. And uses the R word, even though he's autistic himself. Like, he should be against that. But yeah, I remember back in 2017, 18, or 19, I saw Harman Smith's video on like the Supreme Court justice who was being accused of sexually abusing a woman, and the thing is, he said that those women were just using rape as a weapon, and I just want to say, like, I was thinking, like, I hope he doesn't do videos like that again, and he did it again in 2020 with saying George Floyd deserved to die. But yeah, it's just he won't apologize. See, I hold myself accountable for my actions, so it really does say more about him because, people are traumatized. People are traumatized by certain people's words, you know? And then the last thing I want to talk about is his live stream. So, and I will watch these videos, but I won't cover them tonight or anyway. It's just funny how he makes negative content about Rikita, whoever he is. I don't know who he is, but it's funny how he makes content about him, but yet he says everyone that makes content about him, it says more about them. Like, no, you're just as bad, just in a different way. So, anyways, Midnight Madness, I believe that's a video. Okay, so this is what happened. You know, look, I said I didn't see any Metroid Prime 4 because the internet's big. And sometimes I watch different videos, like, and look at what it says here. And now use Twitter. I really don't. Like, not everyone watches the same thing, and the internet's so big, so not everyone sees things. I've seen people make criticisms about Metroid Prime for, like, oh, I don't know if the motorbike will work. But that's just one person, and it's fair criticism. So look, I addressed this. I have a feeling he's lying about that. I have a feeling that his parents were trying to. I have a big feeling that his parents were trying to discipline him, and he just was a brat. You know, I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, both things could be possible. Maybe he is traumatized, but like that doesn't give him an excuse to say what he said about homeless people. So there we go. Look, I said I stopped using when Young called homeless people drug zombies. Yeah, I haven't made a bad game. But again, I care less about his getting opinions. Elon Space, he says. And you know, it's like, from my research, most homeless people are not drug addicts. Statistics on homeless. Let's see, see, this is the Council on Homelessness, and they're trying to end it. Yeah, I think I'll go for this one. So here's what it says. It says low incomes, a lack of affordable housing, so it says homeless counts are record high. It says homelessness does not impact all groups equally. Black communities as well as indigenous communities continue to express much higher rates of homelessness than the general population. And what Harman has is white privilege. Homelessness is increasing among vulnerable groups. People with disabilities, children, and older adults are experiencing homelessness. Proposed cuts to care, continuum care, and other safety nets like Medicaid and preventive policies, like citing, arresting, and jailing people will make it harder to rehouse those populations. This will make homelessness worse and harm both public and it says this: when people can't afford to pay rent, homelessness increases. Americans' housing affordability crisis is caused by deeply rooted challenges. Let's see. Homelessness is one of America's most visible yet misunderstood challenges. It affects people from all walks of life who struggle due to economic hardships, lack of affordable housing, or other systematic barriers. The reality is most people are forced into homelessness by circumstances beyond their control. The solution is line changes, not quick fix. who experiences homelessness. Anyone can experience homelessness, and everyone faces unique challenges. All people experience homelessness are impacted by systemic issues like the lack of affordable housing and inadequate incomes. So yeah, to say people, so to say people that you have to fuck up really bad to be homeless. Like, what about the LGBTQ kids who are kicked out of their house because they're homeless? That's not. Oh wait, he hates gay people because apparently someone tried to molest him. But anyways, I don't believe that. He's known to be a liar. The fact that he lied about Celeste being easy, it's hard. And the fact that he lied about quantum TV, yeah. But anyways, let's get back to a video. They do have jobs. It's just the jobs don't pay enough. And not anyone can just. What we want is to make it easier for homeless people to succeed. And for people to just say that, for him to just say that, like, it's a joke. But anyways, let's see what else he says. How much you have to fuck up. See, that's where. That's actually not true. That's not true. And I did go a little too far. I said, and that's why you need to get your ass whipped. Most homeless people have jobs. You know, I'm not telling anyone to be his ass, but I just think he deserves it. But then again, he played victim too. It wouldn't help him learn. So I don't want to help him learn. I think nothing will. But I think everyone needs to be aware of him so we can deplatform him. Blah blah blah. You know, that's just your anecdote, okay? You have what's called survivor's bias. That's not good. And look at what he says. Even Chris Chan hasn't fucked up banging up me homeless because his mom supports him. That's why. Okay? So it's kind of his mom's fault. But yeah. Well, here's the thing. Some people's parents have died. And another thing is like, another thing is that, you know, people are often forced into homelessness. Like, I know of a guy whose house burned down and he was called a bum, but really his house burned down and so he was forced to be homeless. Not everyone has someone they care about. That's not true. That care about them. Like, do you know who else is homeless? Domestic abuse victims. Because they either, and it's not fucking up, they have nowhere to go. So yeah, you know. Yeah, that's the only thing I agree. It's not It's not the norm. So is it right very, very occasionally? They have been doing more. Some people work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and still don't get things working. And guess what? Let's just say you do make the wrong choice. They should be helped into making the right choice. No one's enabling homeless people. No, they don't. Big deal you have. Yeah, I see you're just putting out anecdotes. Most people are fucking harmless. Most people are more likely to be victims of violence. Like, what about some kids beating up homeless people? I bet he's okay with that. But yeah, it's fun that people say kids these days are bad, but guys at common are way worse than kids these days. It doesn't work like that. Like, he clearly doesn't get it. And he has no empathy. So that's why, even if he is trolling, it's still a bad thing. It is that hard. Okay, have you ever heard of the black sheep of the family? You claim you were one, but like, personally, I think you're just making up stories. Liberal bullshit. Good. He doesn't even get it. Oh, so only you can do it. See, that just doesn't make sense. Oh, no, he's got privilege. I said you're privileged. But look, if I have uncles, aunts, or grandparents, you know, what about all the homeless veterans? Right, you're living in the same house. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe he's moved to different houses, but like again, he was mostly in this house, from what I remember. We're jealous. Well, have you ever thought that maybe it's your attitude that got you fucked over? Have you ever thought of that? Like, I think he was just a big liar as a kid. and still a brat today. That's not true. I have my mom. And look, like I said, well, maybe you deserve by the way you talk. Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't know. I saw you back in 2020. So you still had the video games, you still had a lot of other stuff. It can be. The way you do it isn't hard. Oh, I think I heard someone say something. It sounded a little bit like a woman's voice. Was that his mom that he's talking bad about? I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but just a hunch. Then why would they play both of those? Good. Well, if you constantly get people treating you like that, maybe you're the problem. No, and I think he's trolling when he exaggerates. I think part of his trolling is that he plays dumb by not pretending to not understand. He knows what his problem is, but yeah. And look at what I said. I said my friend was homeless and she didn't do drugs. Yeah, here's the thing. I had a friend who was homeless. She didn't fuck up. The problem was, people were bullying her, like they're really treating her bad, and she felt safer in the streets. So yeah, that was a choice, but like, and yeah, she does have a grandmother, but her and her grandmom's relationship is kind of wild. But anyways, yeah, I mean, people can argue on about how, oh, other people I talk home don't have empathy. Yeah, fuck them too. If they really are doing some sort of stuff harm does, not to harm, but to our people. But yeah, I think too harming. I'm just matching the same energy. I mean, look, you can't just make rules for your for other people and then not hold yourself to those standards. You know? Yeah. Well, if he's really successful, then why are his books only 1 star? Yeah, I think he made his books to troll. But anyways, I'm gonna be watching this and this. Like, I'm just gonna do that. But yeah, I mean, I won't say he's the most disgusting, but he's one of the most. Especially when I made fun of Bray Watts' death. Like, I'm sorry. You can argue about how other people made fun of Charlie Kirk. I don't mock. I don't mock Charlie Kirk's death. Okay. But yeah, anyways, look, I always say he will not apologize. Like, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Bye.